This is AFTV VIP, the official web app with members-only content, has no ads and a live in-game match center. The bias predictor, it has daily polls and the AFTV 11 selector. Just one click away. Hi and welcome along to AFTV News Daily. Don't forget to get involved in that app, by the way, especially this weekend with the games coming up. You can use the predictor to predict Arsenal's games and all the games in the Premier League this weekend. And also, there's a really good team builder on there where you can build your own team that you think should play against Leeds this weekend. So make sure you make use of that, and it's ad-free as well. We are here tonight to look ahead to the weekend. And joining me tonight, I'm very glad to have Mo on board. How you doing, Mo?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I've been so bored of international football, man. I cannot wait for the league to come back, honestly. It makes you realize how much you miss it. And it's lockdown. There's not much to do. Football is just, I've missed it.
Have you been in the lockdown? Have you just been at home, or have you had to still go into work?
Well, Robbie, listen, it's a lockdown. We've seen how seriously the politicians are taking it. So I've been following the rules absolutely strictly. I haven't even looked outside because, I'm following the rules. That's what I'm saying anyway.
But to be fair, listen, this coronavirus thing is serious, man. I keep saying to my brother, one of my brothers actually got it. You know what I mean? So he's a school teacher, and he's obviously picked it up at school. You know what I mean? That's where it seems to be spreading a lot. Thankfully, I was chatting to him yesterday and this morning as well, and he's luckily, it seems like he's just got like the mild symptoms of it, where aches and pains and a bit of a cough. But we know for a lot of other people it's way more serious than that. So this is why it is something we have to take serious. And but this year, man,
you 100% know, like it's not a joke. It's not one to kind of not take seriously. But yeah, I'm just having a laugh because you see all sorts of people doing all sorts of stuff and no consequences, and
I know. That's it. The people that should be leading, they don't seem to lead on these subjects. So
exactly, yeah. I mean, you look at even what happened to the Gabon national team. In a time where there's a global pandemic and everything like that, making them, stay in that environment where you don't have the comforts of even being able to access all your belongings and, make sure you're hygienic and all that sort of stuff, a decent place to sleep so you're not in each other's spaces and everything like that. They were sleeping on the floor. How many would you, in a pandemic when this bacteria lives on the floor, do you want to be sleeping on the floor when it's on surfaces and stuff? I just kind of feel like, there should be some serious questions asked of things like that. We'll get onto this, I imagine, but Willian going off to Dubai, there's a lot of people not taking this pandemic seriously enough. Mo Salah, I don't know if you saw the footage of him or the picture of him, so.
Yeah, you know what? We are going to touch on that, right? Is to talk about the preparation for Arsenal going into such a huge game at the weekend, right? We've all been missing it, but this is a huge game for Arsenal. I was looking at some of the stats around it, and if we lose that game, we would have lost like our last 3 out of our 4 games, which would be like unheard of for Arsenal, right? Yeah. And it's a huge game, but the preparation doesn't seem to be spot on. You've got Kolasinac has gone out on international duty. He's picked up the COVID. He can't play. Partey's injured. Aubameyang, as you said, was sleeping on the floor of an airport, right, where anything could happen. You've got El Neni. He's contracted it as well. Big miss that's going to be because Partey's out as well, as I said. You've got Danny Ceballos and David Luiz scrapping it out on the training.
Right? What happened to social distancing?
yeah. And then you've got Willian flying off to Dubai. It's just like, and then you add on to the top of that the fact that Saka, who they probably thought would only maybe play 1 game, played 3 games for England. Preparation going into such a huge game, it doesn't seem great. I mean, let's touch on that Willian situation First of all, this guy JV says, he goes, if Willian plays, we need a steward's inquiry. But I was looking at what Mikel Arteta said at his press conference, and I'll give you the quote of what he said on the Willian's trip to Dubai. He said, I had a conversation with him and explained what I was expecting. There are a lot of personal factors at the moment from our side. We need to be in their shoes. A lot of players are having different issues like any public person out there. Sometimes they're making decisions based on needs, different moments, or what people are expecting from them. Whether they're right or wrong, that's something we have to discuss, but it's been dealt with in the right way. Let's move on. Didn't really answer. Kind of went round in circles, didn't really answer the question, but it does. I get the sense there that he was a bit annoyed about Willian going 100%. To Dubai.
Listen, Robbie, the thing is with managers, most managers, unless they're trying to alienate or dig out a player, is that when they are going to give that player their full backing, they say that they will be unequivocal, and they'll say, look, no, he sought permission, he followed club guidelines, we gave him special dispensation to do this, and they'll talk in those terms. When you get that politician's answer and stuff, that's basically you saying that, the player, I'm annoyed with the player and we've taken action. And it's just that thing that football managers do, because if they go out and say, I'm annoyed at the player, I find them a week's wages, that creates a lack of trust in the dressing room, and it airs your dirty laundry out in public. For anyone that's used to press conferences, for anyone that is used to manager speak, like you and I are, and a lot of fans are, we know what this means. And Willian clearly breached an internal policy. It's just that Arteta's not going to come out and say it in that many words.
Now, Mo, does he play on Sunday now, right? Because, I've seen I was trying to find one comment there, but there was a comment from somebody who said, like, I think he was sort of saying, imagine if that was, here it is. He said, imagine if Pepe had gone to Dubai. There's also a couple other people citing the fact that, he's going to Dubai in a time when, you only should really be flying out if you've got a very, very good reason.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you think he'll play on Sunday?
Well, do you know what? There's two schools of thought about this. It's like sometimes you'll look at it and you'll say, now it's easier to motivate the player. You go out there and you say, okay, you go and prove to the world that, you deserve to be included and that I shouldn't drop you and all that sort of stuff. And you have to make up for what you've done. People are talking about you in negative terms. The lack of discipline is not serious, all this sort of stuff. So you go and prove it to them. I'm going to put you in and the onus is on you. And you can kind of go with that angle. Or you go on the disciplinarian route and you turn around and say, well, you've broken the rules. Look what Mesut Ozil has been ostracized from the team because of a lack of motivation, a lack of dedication, all of that sort of stuff. And Arteta talks about these non-negotiables. As far as I'm concerned, surely this is a non-negotiable. It should be, right? It's not one.
Yeah, I think. Listen, he's a disciplinarian. Now, to me, for what he's done, he shouldn't be playing. He shouldn't be playing this Sunday. I mean, he should be on the bench at the very least.
And for me, Robbie, it's a case of, look, football's a business game, right? So if Willian has won Player of the Month last month and he's on top form, got the most assists in the league and everything, then you turn around and say to him, go and prove to people, again, why I shouldn't drop you. Go and prove to people that this will distract you from the form you've been having and all that sort of stuff. But the point is, we were already talking about Willian being dropped from the team. He's been awful in recent weeks. And now to go and do this, for me, it's unequivocal he should be dropped. I would have dropped him anyway. And now to stay consistent, to actually show the team that, listen, you can't act like this. You can't show this lack of dedication, lack of commitment. And also to show consistency with the way he's treated Mesut Ozil, you have to drop him.
Yeah, and, he weren't exactly out there on important reasons. He was there with Salt Bay cutting up steak and dropping. I mean, exactly. I'm sorry, man. I mean, that's, Kidder says, if Willian starts on Sunday, this will be a direct contradiction to what Arteta has been talking about throughout his tenure. He should give him the Ozil treatment. Oh, he won't exactly get the Ozil treatment, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see if Willian, this guy says bring back Guendouzi, which we know he's not coming back for now, but Guendouzi done this, you're out, isn't it? So
yeah, exactly. Lack of discipline. You think you're above the law, that sort of thing, or because ultimately it comes down to a bit of arrogance to do this, right? You wouldn't see Joe Willock doing this, because Joe Willock, young up and coming player, he'd probably want to make sure he's doing everything he can to get in the first team. He's got that level of humility there. But for me, this is deeper than what happens in the game preceding this sort of breach. For me, this is more about, why is Willian here? In Willian's own mind, what is he aiming to do at Arsenal, and what is his mindset, at Arsenal now? And for me, I think about it and I say, he had a good debut, and he's been pretty average ever since, if we're being honest. Average at best, I'd say. And now, below in the international break, exactly, below average. And now in the international break, instead of it kind of like being on his mind that, look, I know I haven't been good enough and I need to prove my worth to the fans, to the manager, to my teammates, he's off breaking rules, going to Dubai. And I just think to myself, have you joined Arsenal with a really serious mentality? Have you joined Arsenal for a real mindset, or have you joined Arsenal because they're giving me good money on a 3-year contract, I'm still in London, it's convenient, whatever, and you've taken your mind off football, and you've taken your mind off trying to be the best player you can be? And for me, that's the deeper issue here.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of people commenting on it, and on the whole, what I can see here, they're not really too complimentary of Willian. Like you said, it's not like he's on fire at the moment, and he's gone out there, and exactly. It's not like, as well, it's not like he's an youngster, inexperienced player, and he's, come on, man. I mean, he should know that this is going to go down badly, So,
but you can get away with it if you're scoring goals like that. That's football is very hypocritical like that. If you're performing, you can do whatever the hell you like. But if you're not, and Willian certainly is not, then it makes you very droppable. And I hope he does get dropped.
If he don't get dropped and he doesn't play Pepe. I mean, come on, surely Pepe now's got to get he's got to get a look in now this week, surely.
Yeah, but if he doesn't get dropped, the conversation for me is not about Pepe, it's about Arteta. It's it would make me really question Arteta's methods if someone can go and do that and then not get dropped. Let's not forget that we've got a bit of a issue in midfield right now. Guendouzi's out on loan, obviously. Partey injured. El Neni, he's got coronavirus. Ozil ostracised. That's 4 midfielders straight away, just gone. We need all the midfield options we can get. And for Willian to be doing this, Arteta has got to say to him, look, I'm going to make an example out of you. And, Joe Willock hasn't had enough Premier League minutes. If he starts, what an opportunity for him. How motivated will he be?
Now, I've got a couple of fans joining. We've been saying all week that we've been trying to get some other fans involved, and we had a couple on the other night. They were brilliant. And I've got a couple tonight joining us as well. And you know what? One of the fans that are joining us, I already know him. He's a good friend of mine anyway, right, from what I've met him. But why this is, and we didn't plan this, but why this works out brilliantly, Mo, is that he's actually from Dubai. And he's in Dubai right now, right? So we might be able to find out if he's actually might have seen Willian out there. So we got Khalid joining us. How you doing, Khalid?
Hey, Robbie, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, good. And we've also, as well as Khalid, we've also got Michael. We got Michael. You there, Michael?
Yes, Robbie. What's up? What's up?
Yeah, where you from, Michael?
Hey everyone. My name is Michael. I'm from the USA, specifically Maryland, more specifically PG County. Fun fact. When Arsenal played Real Madrid a preseason, I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
I lived about like 5 minutes from the stadium, so there's another.
Okay. Well, listen, great to have you both on board, right? Khalid, I'm gonna start with you because we've been debating it already with Mo. Yeah. You've heard what Mo's had to say on it. Mo's pretty strong on it, right? Yeah. He was over in Dubai, beautiful place, Dubai, right? I don't know if you guys over there were aware of it. The fact that he was in Dubai, but it hasn't gone down very well over here at all. And do you think he was wrong to go out to Dubai?
See, there's 2 points to this, Robbie. I think I've listened to what Arteta said in the press conference, and what it seemed to have happened is that he had a conversation with Willian before traveling to Dubai because of obviously he had some personal reasons to go to Dubai. And one thing I have to say, I've seen the comments on the YouTube of people, blowing it out of proportion. Dubai right now is one of the safest places to be at in these circumstances. Dubai is completely open. We have people coming to Dubai. You can go out, you can do whatever you basically want to do, like any other time, except with some procedures and safety precautions that you have to take into consideration. But it's a very safe place to be at. So I don't think Willian is at risk. But about him breaking the rules, then that would be another case as well. But from the press conference, you saw Arteta, what he was saying. It seemed like there was some sort of agreement between him and Willian about him traveling to Dubai and traveling back. And I'm sure it would have been sort of a trip where they would take care of him, that he wouldn't get exposed to any risk of catching any virus or any sort of...
Listen, Robbie, let me just say something. Firstly, Assalamu alaikum. This is not a criticism of Dubai. We know. I know
that. No, I know that.
You can eat off the pavement. The place is so clean. Don't get me wrong. Let me just read out what on the UK government website with regards to the current lockdown restrictions in the UK. This is more about the UK. It says, if you live in England, you must stay at home and avoid travel in the UK or overseas, unless for work, education, or other legally permitted reasons. If you need to travel, you should look to reduce the journey if possible. And then it says, however, you can and should still travel for a number of reasons, including work, education, to visit those in your support bubble or childcare bubble, hospital, to buy goods or services from essential retail, to spend time to exercise outdoors and attending the care and exercise of a pet. Does Willian have a little pet monkey in Dubai that he needs to go? What? Come on, justify it, please.
Maybe a pet cheetah. Maybe a pet cheetah, like the one we saw, Robbie, when you were here. No. Well, they did announce a few days ago that they opened the channel between the UK and the UAE. So anyone traveling from the UK to Dubai for a vacation, they could go back to the UK and they don't have to quarantine for 14 days upon their return. So I'm sure, restrictions will ease up a little bit. I know there is a lockdown in the UK at the moment.
Yeah, but that's the point, Khaled. That's the point, is that there's a lockdown here. Yeah, there may not be a lockdown where you guys are. You guys may be, a lot more open and and you've already got it under control. Over here, we haven't. It's getting worse, and this is why, again, it looks really bad, because
it does. Yeah.
Nobody, basically what Mo's saying is, under the restrictions there, you're not supposed to leave unless it's a very, very good reason. And he's just up and left. And then when we see him over there, he's with Salt Bay cutting up meat.
Exactly. The annoyance to me is
I want to see him cutting up players at the weekend.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I don't think he's going to ever do that.
Look, the annoyance to me as a supporter is that it's the risk factor. He shouldn't be doing this. He's taking it upon himself to go and do it. And if he contracts a coronavirus, is asymptomatic, and then infects the rest of our squad, what the hell happens to our season? What the hell happens to our team? And that's
I don't think our season or our team is reliant on Willian if he plays or not.
No, but it's reliant on us not getting COVID.
Yeah. Well, let me get Michael in. Michael, what did you make of it, Willian? Going off to Dubai.
Well, first of all, like, you usually go to a place like Dubai, like, for a vacation when you've done well. Willian only had like that one good performance at Fulham, and then he's not really done anything. So it's just like, why are you going to Dubai and being with Salt Bay and having fun? It's just like, you get that when you deserve that. But to me, he hasn't really deserved that. So like, why are you going there? That's just how I look at it.
I can answer that for you if you want.
Okay.
Willian is, how old is he? Remind me, how old is Willian? 31 or something?
33.
33, yeah? A 33-year-old player that Chelsea fans are not bothered about losing, got a 3-year contract at Arsenal. Willian has done very well. That's why he's in Dubai.
All right, let me come off Willian a bit, because he's getting a lot of stick here. Yeah. Quite rightly so. He's getting a lot of stick. What about that other? We spoke about this last night, right? Now this is the other again, as I say, preparation for this game going into Leeds, which is a huge game, is not great. The next subject, David Luiz and Danny Ceballos. The rumours are that David Luiz laid a punch on him, right, after a bad tackle, thumped him in the nose. He dropped on the floor. He cut his nose, and Danny Ceballos came back against the story, which was put out there by David Ornstein, and he wrote fake, saying that it was fake. Mikel Arteta was asked about it at his press conference today, and again, he was pretty skillfully swerved it. When he was asked about what happened, he said nothing. Training is very competitive, and issues happened a lot of times. Those things get resolved immediately within the team, and there's not much to say. There is no problem between the two. But Mo, what did you make of that one? The the punch up on the. I mean, Danny Ceballos. This is not the first time. Remember,
not the first time. Yeah,
he couldn't say fake to that one because that was picked up by all of the TV companies. So what have you made of this?
I was really interested, actually, Robbie, because Arsenal fans know that David Ornstein, generally, when he reports something, it's not lies. Generally, he does have that intel and it's quite reliable. But when Danny Ceballos came and literally quote tweeted him and contradicted him that this was fake, I thought to myself, wait a second, which one of you is lying? And now, after Arteta's press conference, it seems to it's cleared it up for me. Something obviously did happen. When Danny Ceballos is saying fake, I think he's being quite clear about that, and he's saying that a particular detail in the overall story is fake. The reality is we don't care about the specific details, whether blood was drawn or whether there was a scratch, whatever. The point is they got into an altercation. So for me, we've heard this many times. In fact, we've even seen it on the pitch, never mind. You see players doing it in games, never mind in training. And I look at the last time Danny Ceballos did this. What happened in the game after? He assisted the player he was fighting with. He laid on a goal for Nketiah. So just let's jump on David Luiz to score against Leeds. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Khalid, what have you made of it?
Yeah, I agree with Mo there. I think it's blown out of proportion. I like that our team is getting competitive and aggressive, even in training. This is what we have been missing for a long time. We've heard people saying Arsenal is soft, Arsenal are pushovers, but it's good to know that we have players who are not, even in the training ground. And
players getting thumped down.
Yeah, that's fine. You've heard about Kolo Touré's story when he first joined the club.
Yeah,
and he went on a 2-footed challenge on Thierry Henry, who was the best player, and then he went on. I think it was Dennis Bergkamp or someone at that time. So we need this kind of player in the team as well.
But the denial of it though, like Mo said, he did a Donald Trump fake news, right, without actually saying what part of it was fake news, right? But like Mo's saying, Arteta's not denying the incident, is he?
He isn't, no. But Arteta is very smart. He has his answers prepared before every press conference. He seems like the kind of guy who knows exactly what the media will ask him, and he knows exactly what he's gonna answer them. So him being ambiguous about his answer is something very much intended. And he's just saying that these things happen, and the players move on, and that's it. It's not something that should be blown out of proportion.
Let me get Michael, because being in America, I'm sure you heard a lot about fake news.
We hear about it. We hear about everything. We hear about it every single day. When I first heard this story, though, I was just like, dang, Ornstein is the ones coming out with this is probably true. Then I started to tweet Ceballos like it's fake. So me being like, since Ceballos was the one in that situation, obviously I'm going to be like, okay, let me trust Ceballos. But then the situation with Eddie before, I forgot what game that was happening. It's just like, and Eddie's not even a guy to really like do anything like that. He's more of one of the calmer guys in the squad. So now that you're hearing Ceballos or David Luiz, who is even looked at like a figure, like a very important figure in the dressing room. is doing this to Ceballos. So I feel like what Mo said, something there is true, but he just didn't. It wasn't like he didn't. How do I want to say it? He wasn't specific as to what Ornstein was talking about in the articles.
Yeah, Mo. I mean, again, it's not good preparation, is it?
Yeah, it's not.
Or is it? Or is it? Or maybe I don't know. Maybe it's good.
No, look,
maybe it's showing that there's intensity in training.
It's not ideal, but I think, you know, as fans, when you watch your team enough, right, you get an idea of a player's personality. You just do. Like, and with Dani Ceballos, I think we've all seen that when he comes on, he doesn't just go through the motions. There are some players that come on and they just do their job. Dani Ceballos really does get stuck in. He battles. He's got an ego. He's got some pride, and you see that in the duels that he has during football games. Doesn't surprise me at all. He's just that sort of person. But, you know, a lot of people, when they talk about this sort of stuff, I just think to myself, have you ever actually played football? Do people actually understand that no matter what level you play at, when you're involved in a game, when you're involved, whether it's training with your friends, competitive, at whatever level, that will to win is something you can't turn on and off. And these are competitive, you know, men with a lot of testosterone going through their bones as well. And then on top of that, you know, any guy knows when something happens to you and all your mates are there, it's made them even worse. You don't want to get mugged off in front of your friends and stuff. So for me, this is anyone that's played football, anyone that's actually been in this setting of a football club and training and playing with, you know, a team knows that sometimes things do boil over. I've had big bust-ups with good friends of mine, shouting, swearing, pushing, all that sort of stuff. It's just part and parcel of football. So I'm absolutely not interested in hearing press try and dramatize this story. Of course, it's of interest, but it doesn't mean anything.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, yeah, right? And I like this one. Before we just jump back, Arsenal Queen says, Robbie, but the real question is, who's the snitch, right? Because obviously somebody's leaked that story out, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it. I feel like how the story was really leaked out like that. I feel like the dressing room should really keep everything in the dressing room. You know what happens on the pitch, the training ground happens on the training ground. That's how like when I play sports over here for my teams, we keep everything private. We don't let it, you know, like go outside that area, you know. So
and Arteta in his press conference, he actually said, this is why we train behind closed doors. Those were his words. And that, as soon as he said that, I was thinking to myself, which journalist is going to ask him, so how did we find out? And none of them did. And I was thinking, you know, you've missed an opportunity there. Firstly, Mesut Ozil rejecting the pay cut came out. That was unforgivable. This is minor. That was major. But there is a snitch in the club.
Yeah, and Sam says Robbie nearly has a bust up with DT every week, and he's right there. I mean, but you know what? It's interesting because what you just said then, Mo, there is a snitch in the camp because, like you said, with the Ozil thing, when it came out about him being the only person who hasn't taken the pay cut, you know, and what's that led to all the, you know, there's definitely someone who's leaking out stories from what's happening at Arsenal. But listen,
who is it?
This weekend is a huge, huge game.
Well, no, Robbie, I want to know who is it? Who's the snitch?
Who is it? I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know.
Mike, Khalid. Don't say
Take a guess. Take a guess. Take a guess.
Take a guess.
Who looks like a snitch in that team?
Sounds like a snitch. Honestly,
someone who has a reason for Arsenal to look bad.
So you're trying to say Ozil?
I didn't say anything.
Judge, you know what? I've cracked it.
I didn't say anything.
I've cracked it. I know who it is.
Who
would have been watching that training session who would want to disrupt Arsenal's preparation ahead of Leeds Arsenal?
Eddie?
Bielsa.
Bielsa? I think it could be one of the people that don't even really like.
Oh man, it's Bielsa, isn't it? It's 100%
Bielsa.
I feel like it could be something like a Socrates, honestly. You know, people that aren't really like in tune with the squad, who haven't been in tune with the squad like this season, you know, especially the way he's looking in the team picture, frowning. Like, why are you frowning, my guy? If you're playing for Arsenal, at least smile, you know. But
hey. You know what? He's actually playing. He's actually playing today, wasn't he?
Oh, really?
Under 23s. You know?
Yeah. I saw that.
Shout out to Mill Smith Rowe with the man there.
No, this is this is a brilliant one, right? For somebody who thinks they know who the spy is, Rebecca Vardy. And by the way, Rebecca, that's just been said in jokes. Do not sue us, please. Don't sue us. Right? Money there, what is me? But listen, the game at the weekend is a huge game, right? I was looking over some of the stats, guys, right? And I'm telling you, it's horrible reading, right? I'm gonna find one of them here. Was it this one? Oh no, it wasn't that one. Yeah, coming into this weekend's game. So this is a good stat that goes in Arsenal's favour. That coming into this weekend's game, no side has conceded more Premier League goals than Leeds this season, 17. So they've conceded 17 goals. However, then you start to look at some of our stats. Arsenal have lost 3 of their last 4 Premier League games, as many as in the previous 12 when they won 8, drew 1, lost 3. The Gunners haven't found the net from open play in their last 6 hours and 26 minutes of the Premier League action. Now, are you scared of this game this week, Mo? It's a huge game. We know what Leeds are going to do. Leeds attack. You know what I mean? They're one of the fittest teams in the Premier League. I think the only team in the running stats that beats them is Liverpool. They run and they run and they run and they close down and they win the ball. They win lots of turnovers and they attack, right? And that's what they will. They're at home, and that is what they're going to do. It won't be anything else apart from that. Are you scared of this game? And also, do you think that Arteta, he's been accused of being quite negative in some of his play, but do you think that might suit us this weekend to play in that kind of style?
Well, the first thing is Leeds, they are going to be a test. Second thing, obviously not underestimating them at all. But even though Arteta is, a bit negative potentially, the fact that Partey and El Neni are both injured potentially forces his hand to play Ceballos now. That could be Ceballos Willock or Willock Xhaka, Ceballos Xhaka, something like that. But it should, no matter which one of which 2 out of 3 you play, you could argue that's more attacking or more adventurous than Partey and El Neni. So for me, hopefully that'll force our hand a little bit. But that stat, Robbie, that you just read out, that is like a dagger in my side, man. From goals from open play, that's awful, absolutely awful. And the thing is, with Leeds, I feel like what we really, really need to make sure of is that they've got basically one goal threat, Patrick Bamford. Now, it's not about man-marking Patrick Bamford all over the pitch. He's not the sort of striker that's going to do everything by himself and, pick up, drop deep, pick out the ball, bang in a 30-yarder, then get a header in the 6-yard box, all of that sort of stuff. He just plays a very simple style of football to make sure he's on the end of chances. Yeah, I saw Ollie Watkins do that really efficiently against us as well. For me, it's all about cutting off that supply. And to cut off that supply, you have to make sure you're matching people 1-for-1 and winning all your duels around the pitch. And as you say, Robbie, against Leeds, that's not an easy thing to do. So I am very nervous. And, you see my little description on my name today is won 4, we've lost 4. And now it's one of those, you can't at Arsenal Football Club be losing more games than you've won. It shouldn't even be close. This is a must-win game for us, and there's big pressure on it.
You talk about duels. Here's another stat, right? Leeds rank first with 900 attempted duels. Arsenal are 20th with 663. Now, that's what I'm saying. They're going to really come at us. Khalid, you worried?
Obviously, after last game, you can't help but be worried, right? But it all depends on how Arteta approaches the game. We've seen Leeds struggle against teams like Crystal Palace, Leicester, where they kept it really tight and attacked them on the counter or with long balls. I think if Arteta plays a very tight defense, which he is very good at, and very good counter-attacking football, so we would need Aubameyang and Pepe to be up front. I think we would have a chance because if you compare players, our players and Leeds players, we obviously our players are technically superior. So we just need our players to be on 100%. And it's going to be a struggle because they have more rested players, obviously, because less players from Leeds went on internationals. So it all depends on how Arteta approaches the game or what tactic he goes in with.
Okay, before I come to you, Michael, and get a few comments in. Hussein says it depends on which Arsenal turns up. PTRK says, Robbie, you used to diss Mourinho when he won trophies because he parked the bus in some games. Arteta is doing the same thing against relegation teams, and you still support him. Make it make sense. Now, no, listen.
That's different.
You're getting it wrong. I don't want to see him park the bus in every game, but I want him to see him to be sensible. Like, so when he went away the other day and we got that win at Manchester United, the way in which we set up was the sensible approach when you're up against, the attacking intent of Rashford and Bruno Fernandes, and we nullified them, and then we were on the front foot and we were able to, execute our game plan and win the game. There's nothing wrong with that away from home. But I don't want to see that every single week, which was what Mourinho basically used to do a lot of time with, and don't get me wrong as well, not forgetting that Mourinho had some of the best players around at that time when he was parking the bus. Yeah, Inter Milan, he had what's his name again? The striker? I forgot his name.
Milito.
Sorry?
Diego Milito.
No, from Cameroon. What's the Cameroon striker?
Oh, Eto'o.
He had Samuel Eto'o playing a right back. So I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that at Arsenal. I'm sorry. Now, Michael, again, same question to you. You've seen some of those stats. Arsenal have not, yes, we've had some good performances, but some of those stats are damning. And another stat that I haven't even got up here is in the last game, Aubameyang didn't have one shot on goal. No, not on target, we're talking, shot on goal, not one. I remember seeing him getting the ball. He's trying to hit the ball in like a winger.
Yeah.
I think he should play in the middle. I'm going to ask you guys, but are you scared of this game?
Yes, I'm very scared of this game, especially seeing the Aston Villa performance. Honestly, I was scared. Well, to talking about the Aston Villa performance, I was even scared about that because we haven't really been too confident against them. And after we won from at Old Trafford, it just gave the way the team played. It just felt like we didn't respect them. So we didn't respect Aston Villa. How does Arteta get those boys to come and respect a Leeds who are just not coming up, even though they've been doing what they're doing? Hopefully that loss will, gain some fire into them, but we really need to perform. And on Aubameyang, he needs to play down the middle. Definitely. Lacazette, I don't know. I have to just say that. I had to just say this. I feel like he's a player on the decline right now. I just feel like he's a player on the decline. We have to put Aubameyang down the middle. Aubameyang is our best player. He's our best striker. He's our best attacking threat. So for him not being in the middle, and for him to be playing as a winger, a left winger, even though he did get the amount of goals that he did, Arsenal is found out now. The teams know what Aubameyang does over there on the left side. He cuts in to his right foot and then curls it. That's what he's been doing all last season. Teams know, okay, don't get Aubameyang on his right foot. That's all, and then boom. That's why Aubameyang has not been scoring, because teams know what we do. Arteta hasn't changed that. So with that being said, Arteta has to change his tactics, and he has to put Aubameyang down the middle, bench Lacazette. And honestly, I feel like we should give somebody else a try. Maybe try and push through Balogun. Also, maybe try and we need an attacking midfielder. So I want to see Emil Smith-Rowe. I would love to see him come through as well. Give the youngsters more of a chance. But honestly, for Leeds though, if we don't see Pepe on the right wing and Aubameyang down the middle, I feel like it's going to be very tough because teams are going to know what we're going to do.
Okay, Wayne says, by the way, he says, sorry if I go to you then, Mo. Wayne says, tired of hearing some fans and non-Arsenal fans talk about Arsenal parking the bus and comparing it to Mourinho shows a lack of football knowledge. Mo, he's going to say.
Yeah, let me give you a mad stat. Harry Maguire has had more shots than Aubameyang in the league so far this season.
Poor.
If that doesn't tell you that we are not playing Oba to his strengths, come on, what does? Harry goddamn Maguire.
Should he play down the middle then, man?
100%. And Mike, listen, you got it bang on. It's not even about criticizing a Lacazette here. It's just simply a case of teams are very clear on how to set up against us, very clear on what to expect. You need to constantly tweak things, not wholesale changes, but you need to keep people guessing a little bit. And Aubameyang, if he doesn't line up in the middle, I reckon Marco Bielsa is just going to be smiling. He's just going to be thinking, "Yeah, nailed it. This will be easy."
What about you, Khalid? Aubameyang down the middle, or because he, you know, for the past 2 seasons he has played out on that left-hand side and scored he scored nearly all our goals really. So,
I mean, his best season at Dortmund when he beat Lewandowski to the Golden Boot, he played down the middle for Dortmund as well, and we've seen him play down the middle for us, and he was special. He was something really special. I'm not too sure about. I think Arteta needs to shuffle it more a little bit, and exactly like Michael said here, he's becoming way too predictable. How the team is set up and how Aubameyang plays and what his role is on the pitch, on the ball and off the ball. It's becoming way too predictable at the moment. I think if he shuffle it, maybe he has the same shape of the team. So on paper, it will look like Aubameyang is on the left, but he needs to drift into the middle more and play more of a part. I don't think Lacazette is a problem here. I think it's just the way these two players interchange while they're on the pitch and while they're on the ball as well. I think there is a way because we have seen
interchanging, is there? There's no interchanging. There hasn't been any
zero. There is no interchanging at all. We have seen Lacazette and Aubameyang play very well together. Whenever Lacazette drops deep, picks up the ball, Aubameyang cuts to the middle. And that's the way, we need. That's what we need to see more of. Not Aubameyang on the far left getting the ball to cross it to who in the middle, cross it to Willian to head it in the goal. So, given the current circumstances, the current form of the players as well, I think the best option is to have Aubameyang down the middle.
Mo, is it the fact that it's not Aubameyang? It's the fact that we're not creating enough. We're not creating enough chances for Aubameyang, for Lacazette, for, you know what I mean? So, when they do get one chance, they have to take it. And if they don't, it looks terrible, because we're not creating enough.
That's exactly it, Robbie. And that's what I'm trying to emphasize here, the fact that Aubameyang has less shots than Maguire in the league this season. That's because Aubameyang is not getting opportunities. And just for information, Lacazette has had less shots than Aubameyang. So Maguire's had more shots than both. Not put there obviously, and that is all stemming from a lack of creativity. But Robbie, we had been saying that very early. I remember we had spoken about this very, very early in the season, that it had already started to appear that way. And then, because look, we've won 4, we've lost 4, right? We say that, and then we go and win a game, and we think, maybe we're wrong. And then we go and lose a game, and we're kind of more sure of it. Now we're 8 games in, yeah? By the time we played Leeds, you're almost a quarter of the season is done. You have to start looking at that then, saying almost a quarter of the season is done. You have to start reading into these results. This is not 2-3 games in anymore, and we do not create anything. And as for Leeds,
how do we change that, Mark? How do we change that creativity?
What is it? What's the celebration? Mesut Ozil?
No, without. All right. Let me rephrase that question. How do we change it without Ozil? Because we know he's not going to figure. So how do we change? How do we how do we start creating chances for our danger players without Ozil?
Well, look, I do think a part of the reason why we're not creating goal-scoring chances is that, as I've said, because it's not working, Lacazette doesn't have enough discipline as a striker in terms of playing between the goalposts or playing in that 18-yard box line and making sure he's on the end of scraps. I long for the days where people are slating Aubameyang for being a tap-in merchant after he scored 2 goals in the 6-yard box in a game. I long for those days because Lacazette doesn't have the discipline to be there for when those opportunities come up. So you have to ask the question, are we not creating chances because we don't kind of like have the player in the right positions, or is it a case of because we don't have the player in the right positions, we're not creating chances? Do you know what I mean? I think with Aubameyang, when he has that discipline to stay there and be in those positions, you end up having to play the ball. Sometimes his positioning is so good and it looks so simple. It looks so easy, but he's so sublimely skilled in being in the right place at the right time that he almost pulls that pass from you. He gives you no option but to square it to him, because that's it. You all know it's going to be a goal. And maybe, I just wonder, it's worth giving it a go at this stage with Aubameyang's just world-class centre-forward positioning. Maybe that will help us create more chances, because that easy chance to create a goal-scoring opportunity will always be on the cards with him up front in the middle.
Wayne Sage says if we can't create from midfield and get the ball to the front three, why would moving Aubameyang to the middle change anything? It's about the midfield.
But see, that's what I was just saying. That's exactly what I was just saying. Sometimes he will force that pass because he's there. Other times, if Laka has dropped deep, he's fouling someone, he's tackling someone, that sort of thing, that pass isn't there. So you don't get the opportunity to create that goal-scoring chance. That's my point there.
Yeah, and Andrew says, Mo speaks sense, but I want you to be honest. What happens if Aubameyang doesn't score 20-plus goals once he moves centrally? Then you move him back.
No, but he will. I think we know that. Look at his record. Aubameyang, do you know how I was saying, like, we're almost 25% of the season through? You have to start in the trends. Aubameyang is not some youth player who's done it one season. Look at Aubameyang's record. Compare him to the very best forwards in the whole of Europe. We're beyond questioning Aubameyang's ability to get 20 goals a season. He will.
Yeah. This guy makes a great point. Kingsley Opera, he says, Laka and Willian not firing puts too much pressure on Aubameyang's shoulders. It makes it easy for teams to defend against us, especially with him playing on the wing. That's a very good point. And Sam Cressida says a formation change is needed that doesn't compromise defense too much. On our journey to 4-3-3, we need to spend some time with 4-2-3-1 to make sure we are on the right path. I like the 4-2-3-1 formation, but I just get the feeling that he's going to stick to that sort of three at the back. I mean, do you think that, Khalid, this week it'll be against Leeds? He's not going to take many chances.
I don't think he's going to take many chances. Even in his press conference, he said, we know Leeds, they're going to be full on. They're going to go all out. They have players rested. Less players went on international. So obviously, I'm expecting a three at the back. I don't think it's the ideal formation for Arteta, but given the current personnel that he has at the club, I think he is trying to do what's best given the resources that he has. And speaking about midfield and creating chances as well, the fact that our two midfielders are doing the majority of their work is defensive, they don't really get sort of the chance or have the energy to be creative as well. So the creativity becomes the job of, say, the fullbacks or the wings on the pitch. So Willian, Saka, Bellerin, these players, and it doesn't look like these players are ready to be that creative outlet for the team as well. Obviously, Arteta is trying to build something. He's trying to create something, and it's not quite there yet. But we trust the process. End of the day, so we will see what happens. We trust the process 100%. I mean, I think that
You trust in the process?
Absolutely, 100%. I think
if we lose to Leeds this week, you still trust in it?
100%. I don't think a manager like Arteta, he knows, he has set a system for the team. He has put a system in place where you can just plug and play, put any player into the system and see who fits to make that system works. Right now, he is fixing a problem that is already there, the defensive problem, and he has to do some compromises, and it takes away from our attacking play as well. So it's part of the process of evolving to where we want to reach as a team. And we have to give him another transfer window, another summer transfer window to really judge Arteta. I'm not expecting anything from Arteta this season, to be honest. It's all trial and errors till the end of the season. We'll just hope and see what we see.
I'm expecting. I am expecting. I mean, Michael.
I'm hoping. I'm not expecting though.
No, but you know what? Yeah. We've made a couple of good signings. Gabriel, Partey. Mm-hmm. Everybody else is up and down. I want to see something this season. I do. I'd like to see a real sort of assault on that top four. I'm not expecting the league or nothing like that, but I really want to see an assault on the top four. When I look around at all the other teams, I'm like, you know, we should be having a shout for getting into that top four. I really do think that. You know, yes, you're right. There's still things required. We know that. But I think there should still be enough in that team to be able to really make a good shout at getting into the top four. I mean, Michael, you know, we're all a little bit worried about the game, but do you think he'll have a go? Do you think he'll attack, or do you think he's going to be very pragmatic?
Honestly, I think Arteta is going to just stick to his back three just because it's Leeds, and I feel like that would be the right tactic to do because Leeds, they play like very attacking football. They're going to come to us. I don't think they're going to sit back and defend and wait for it. That's just not their style. That's just not Bielsa's style. He likes to play football. He loves watching it. You know, he just likes the game. He just likes the game to just be free flowing and just attacking. That's how he likes to play. So I think Arteta is just going to do a back three, but I feel like that's the right tactic to do. So I don't really have a problem with that. I just hope we win, you know, because I'm very worried about this because the way we got thrashed against Aston Villa, man, and then we lose to Leeds. Oh, if we lose to Leeds, man, if we lose to this Leeds, man, I'm sorry. That's all I can say.
Will you still trust the process if we lose to Leeds?
Yes, definitely. Personally, for me, I think I was watching an interview a few days ago. DT said that Arteta's only been here, when you subtract the coronavirus months, only like less than a year. So, and he's only had like one window really, one full window in the summer, right, that just passed. So honestly, this year I would love for us to at least either get top four or win the Europa League. But if we can't do that, that's fine. I'll give Arteta another summer, and then like the next season, next year is when I really be harsh on Arteta. Like next year is like, okay, we should be making top four, we should be winning whatever trophy, you know, like, well, if we're still in Europa League or FA Cup, you know, that's just my mindset because we're Arsenal Football Club. We should be winning and chasing these big titles and these big trophies and being these tournaments and, you know, doing these type of things. So yeah.
What about you, Mo? You trusting it? We lose the Leeds. We lose the Leeds. You trust in the process?
Oh, I'll be questioning it, but I do have faith in Arteta to succeed. But I'm glad, Mike, you ended it with what you said, that, you know, a club like Arsenal, you do expect to be challenging for these, because I do feel like often we're way too forgiving at Arsenal. There is absolutely no reason why, when you look at how volatile the Premier League is this year, that we can't capitalise on that. I know all teams are losing games, but as far as I'm concerned, there's no reason why Arsenal should be losing at home to Leicester, at home to Villa. You know, if, for example, you look at last year, you look at the year Liverpool didn't win the league, but they still were absolutely incredible. It's just that Man City were just phenomenal. When you look at something like that, you turn around and say, do you know what? We've done everything we could have done, realistically. You can't not be proud of what your team has done. Arsenal are not there. We're not saying that, look, we had a great year, they just had a flawless year. Arsenal have been awful. Won 4, lost 4. It's awful. So you have to look at it in context. And for me, if we miss out on 4th place with a record as inconsistent as that, it's unacceptable. If we miss out on 4th place, having lost, you know, maximum 5 games, drawn 5, and the remainder we've gone and won, and somehow we've still missed out, then I'll turn around and say, oh, you know what, boys, fair play, good effort. It's just that, you know, other teams were phenomenal. But right now, it's not good enough. And if we carry on like this, the trust has to go.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree with all of you guys. And you know, we're a big club, man. This is much. I trust in the process. I trust Arteta. I see what he's trying to do. I saw somebody. I was trying to find his comment. He was saying, and I think it was another one that said, "What is the process?" I think the process at the moment is he's trying to make Arsenal hard to beat, right? Which a lot of people will laugh at because they'll say, "Well, we've lost 4 games, so how is that hard to beat?" But I think that's his strategy. He's been like, you know what? I need to tighten up that defense, tighten up that midfield, make us hard to beat. But what it's done is it's made our attacking bad. And I really do think one of the big tests for Arteta this season is getting the best out of Pepe. I feel that if we can get the best out of him, we won't be as reliant on Aubameyang, because he will score goals. He will create a lot of goals as well. But at the moment, I really don't know what we're doing with Pepe. I just don't understand how he's in, out, play a bit there, play in the Europa League, doesn't figure. You know what I mean? I can understand why he's frustrated. I feel he has to be now put in for a sustained amount of games. And that has to be the thing now. How do we unlock Pepe? Because I do feel he can be a creative force in that team. And we can start, have him play down the right. We play down one side. It's all down the left-hand side. If you notice, where even the keeper, I'd love to see the stats on it, but he always kicks out to the left. It's always out on that left-hand side. And so I think Khalid said it earlier, and it is easy to defend against because it is predictable. Got to get Pepe, because the Willian thing at the moment is not working. Maybe later on he might pick up or whatever. But right now, to me, got to find a way to get Pepe involved in this, because, when he first come in on paper, I was looking at our front three and I was saying, this is exciting, man. Yeah. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe.
Yeah.
And then now we hardly ever play it. It's just it's always a complete waste.
But Robbie, if Aubameyang goes central, perhaps that can actually help Pepe, because Aubameyang makes the job for creative players. He makes the job for wingers much easier. And, with regards to where our keeper kicks it, I remember we had Bakary Sagna. Every single time it went right, it went to him. That's dictated by the
head it back in field. Remember?
Exactly. That's dictated by the strength of the player receiving the ball. I don't mind that as much, but I do hear the point that we do go down the left too much. And I think that if Aubameyang goes central, perhaps we'll have a bit more diversity to our play, and we won't just go through Aubameyang the whole time.
Varane says, Robbie, please read my comment. I have done so. Listen, guys, it's coming to that time. I need to get your predictions. And don't forget, you can go onto our new app, the AFTV Mobi, and you can do your own predictions on there. You can predict all the games, actually, in the Premier League. But let me get your predictions. This weekend...
Robbie, I just have one more thing to say to add to this whole how to unlock Pepe and how to play Aubameyang, whether to play him central or on the left or on the wing. I think the way Arteta has put out the team, we're playing in a very systematic way. And that's what makes us predictable, is that it's a very structured way of playing that we are not used, as Arsenal fans, we're not used to seeing this. When I grew up watching Arsenal under Arsene Wenger, it wasn't systematic at all. It depended a lot on individual players' abilities and their belief in their own abilities. I think with the front three that we have, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe, they are technically gifted. And they are I'm saying gifted enough to be given that freedom to express sort of their technical abilities. And I don't think they're given that with the current structure. I think that can be a way to unlock Pepe, Aubameyang, and Lacazette as well.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And that's what I mean about unlocking Pepe. You've got to give him that license. We know he's not going to be... He's not going to be a super defensive player, but we've got to find a way that allows him to play his game, because he can be a devastating player and he can be a very creative player as well. But he's not, he ain't even playing at the moment. So, but predictions, Mikey, you want to say something on it?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say, I feel like that even goes for not just, I feel like it's just Pepe's has that much attention towards him because he's the player that was signed for 72 million, and it just has that label on him. I feel like it's also affecting players like Saka. I feel like Saka, even though he's been one of our best players, I feel like we play like robotic football, like we're robots. That's how the team kind of plays. Like they don't play like there's not like any freedom. It's like nobody can show like what they do. It's like, okay, like when you're here, it's like Arteta programs our players and says, okay, when you're here, you do this or look for this person, you like, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen the videos of us like countering, and it's like everybody's in the same exact spot, like I feel like if Arteta like releases the shackles of our players, releases the shackles of their creativity and just let them just be a little like express themselves more on the pitch, that would be a lot more better for all of our attacking players, in my opinion.
Okay, come on, guys. Let's get your predictions. Let's go with you first, Michael.
For Leeds, okay, if right.
Anytime I hear those pauses, right, I know you're nervous about it. I know you're thinking, boy, I don't want to.
Oh man, is it home? It's home or away?
Away.
It's away.
It's away.
At Ellen Road.
I'm gonna back the boys. 2-1 Arsenal. 2-1 Arsenal. 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. All right, let's go to you, Khalid.
Yeah, I want to say Arsenal. 1-0 Arsenal. I think it's going to be a clean sheet.
1-0 against Leeds.
If Arteta puts our team right and puts our defense right, we'll probably get a penalty or a corner or a set piece. We can win the game 1-0. We can open up leads.
All right, Mo.
2-2, as Ray Parler calls it, a Desmond. I think it'll be 2-2. And also watch out for, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Mateus Klitsch or Click or whatever.
Click.
A really underrated player. Brilliant for Leeds this season. I think he is, if Leeds win, he'll have a big part to play in it. So I want to see Arsenal stop that. But I think it'll be 2-2.
I think that Calvin Phillips is going to be back as well. He's a very good player in their midfield as well. And we're without Partey, so I think they've kind of got their best midfielder back, and we've lost our best midfielder. So I'm gonna go. Well, I said today on the Bias Premier League show, I said 3-1. I like to see a lot of people go with 3-2. I could see that. I think there'll be a lot of goals in this game. Although I do feel that as I said, you can go and see an interview I did with the Leeds channel, and they seem to think, I think they think it's the old Arsenal, because they seem to think that, we're looking forward to playing you guys because you guys will come and attack us. And we like teams that come and attack. We don't like teams that sit in like Palace and sit in like Wolves, right? And I go, no, you ain't seen us play. We will be sitting in it. And he actually went, oh, no. He goes, those teams we do very badly against. He goes,
we didn't attack Villa at home.
Well, the Villa at home one was a non-performance. But listen, if we go and we play like how we did against Manchester United, and I know people are out there saying, oh, it's only a penalty and whatever, but the way we defended and the way we were aggressive in that game, if we play like that, I think we'll beat Leeds. I really do. Leeds have got a very poor defence, as you saw by those stats there. But if we go and we're passive, we'll get destroyed like we did against Villa. This is the worry about it. We've got to be on point. And that's why I worry a bit about some of the sort of preparation leading up to the game. They better be switched on Sunday. They better be serious, because Leeds ain't no joke. They are a proper side, and they're managed by a very shrewd and top manager, and he or any of his players will have no fear going up against Arsenal. So we're going to have to be on it. Guys, I want to thank you very much for coming on today. Thank you very much, Michael, from the US.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much to Khalid, or as a lot of people were saying in the comments, DJ Khalid, right? Big up Khalid, all the way from Dubai. Right?
Thank you.
I love the way he was bigging up Dubai earlier, trying to get us all to move there.
You should.
We know it.
Absolutely. 100%. Safest place. Safest place to be.
It's a beautiful place. Khalid, thank you very much, man. Really appreciate it. And big up to Mo. Mo, thank you very much as well. I want to thank you guys all for coming on today, and let's hope we can get a big win. And thank you to you guys for watching today. Really, really enjoyed the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.